Hello and welcome to this series of workouts to do with a boot on or a cast. Now you do need to check with a professional whether these workouts are appropriate for you at this stage because there are various levels of wearing this boot and levels of injury. You may be non-weight bearing, you may be able to partially weight bear or fully weight bear. Now I'm going to film some Pilates exercises today which are going to be more safe because you're not necessarily weight bearing on that leg, and then there are some HIIT workouts as well which are good to keep your fitness and your strength going, but they are more appropriate for when you can fully weight bear on that leg. So get some advice before you get going on these workouts. Now it's going to be better for us to be down on the mat because any standing Pilates exercises you're going to have a slight difference here, which I'm sure you're feeling already around your hips and your pelvis, maybe your lower back and through the legs. So it's nice to do some exercises down on the mat where we can work on a little bit of alignment. So off we go. We're going to be coming down onto the mat, and all of the same principles for Pilates apply. I'm going to keep this shoe on because it's going to keep me that little bit more aligned with the boot, so you can choose whether you want to do that as well. We're going to lie down flat on the mat, and so like I say, the principles apply. Tuck through the chin, lengthen the back of the neck, broaden out through the front of the chest. Pull the shoulders down away from the ears, and that should pull the shoulder blades down at the back as well. Take a nice breath in, breathe out and sink the ribs down. You should feel the backs of the ribs coming down towards the mat. Feet hip width apart, and because these toes are pointing up, I'd quite like the toes to be pointing up on the other side as well, so you've planted your heels firmly down, but feet hip width apart, knees hip width apart as well. And then if you rock the pelvis a couple of times backwards and forwards, and then you find that little arch in the lower back, you shouldn't be able to fit your fingertips underneath. Your ribs should still be down, and you should then tighten through your pelvic floor. You can think about pulling the hip bones together a little at the front, and you should be working a little bit to maintain that little arch in the back. Now tighten that pelvic floor, like I say, not 100%, but that will switch on those deep abdominals. I don't want you to be bracing around here too much at this stage. And then we're going to be lifting and lowering one leg at a time. Now you are going to feel that boot is heavy, or the cast is heavy on that leg. So we're going to try not to do too many exercises here where we're lifting and lowering the legs too much. You will feel like you need to bring in more muscles around the lower tummy here. So we're not going to be as relaxed in the outer muscles as you would be if you were doing a standard level of Pilates without the boot. Good. This is the stage you might want to think about taking that boot off if you were at a later stage in your rehabilitation. Good. So I want you to think each time when you lift up the leg in the boot, push down through the other one. That will make it a little bit easier to lift up and draw on a few more muscles to lift up that heavy boot on that side. You need to be extra careful while you're in a boot to not be twisting too much around this section here. So by pushing down into the other leg, you really engage everything to lift up that weight on that leg. Relax through your breathing. These are great sessions to be thinking about your breathing. Good. In through your nose, out through your mouth, and just focusing in on your body, on moving it well. Lovely. So both feet down, recheck that your feet are hip width apart. So you can relax that other foot now. We're going to be lowering one knee out to the side and coming back up. And then the other knee. And come back up. Make sure these hips aren't twisting. Good. Ribs are down, chin's tucked, shoulders wide. Hands could be on the ribs. That will help to hold the ribs down. Hands could be on the front of the hips here. just to give you that little bit of feedback as to whether the hips are rocking from side to side. Good. Relaxing that breathing, keeping the ribs down. Good. Keep that pelvic floor working. That feeds into those deep abdominals, that corset muscle that's all too important. While this foot's injured, it gives you a bit of an opportunity to focus in on these deep muscles that some of you won't have the time to think about. Either if you're in sport, you have too many other muscles to work on, too many other techniques to work on, or otherwise, if you're busy and having to rest this leg at the moment, you'll find yourself with a bit more time on your hands. Okay, tabletop with the right leg, stretch it away, pull the toes up, back in and down. Other leg, you might want to look up. This leg, you've probably lost the ability to know where that leg is in space. Stretch away, back in and down. Now this boot is going to be heavy on that quad, so you're going to have to use that technique that I talked about before. Plant that foot down, peel up, stretch away, back in and down, drawing in through that lower tummy, keeping that control. Yes, it is throwing us off a little bit, having that boot on, but so is everyday life. So these Pilates exercises are helping you to control your core, help you to stabilize through this period of being more unstable with a heavy boot on one side. Good. It's putting a little bit of normality through the body as well, moving like this, keeping alignment. When you're walking, it's difficult to keep that alignment. Good. One more each side. Trying to keep that little arch in the back. Good. Bringing that right leg up to tabletop. Draw the ribs down, scoop in the tummy, circling the knee. Good. Pushing down into the other foot. As long as you are allowed to partially weight bear through this leg, pushing down through it will help some healing. Trying to keep everything as still here as you can. 5 more. 3, 4, 5. Foot down, and that gives me just a chance to remind you this is a good position for the hands, thumbs on the ribs, fingertips reaching down to the hips in front of you. Keep that chest open, chin tucked. Other leg to tabletop, circling outwards. Now this leg with the boot on is going to pull you out of line. But like I say, by working on these deep muscles to control it, will help you cope with this period of having this boot on your leg. It will strengthen up the muscles that are helping to control. Three, 2, 1. Fantastic. Foot down. All right. So now with both feet on the floor, we can quite happily do some crunches. So tuck your chin, keep that little arch in the back, tighten through the pelvic floor, draw in as you crunch. Now maintain that little arch in the back. Do not flatten as you crunch. Keep the little arch, draw down at the front and draw down at the back as well. So shoulders away from the ears, tuck the chin, crunch and lower. Now you should really feel that crunch intensify because you're keeping that arch in the back. Good. 5. We're going to do some different combinations of crunches here, so be prepared for a good abdominal workout for this section. Notice my fingers are spread, scooping around towards the back of the head, just supporting it lightly, and the head doesn't go down in between. Good. We're going to stretch up towards the knees. 2, 3, 4, 10. Hands behind your head again, just to support it for a few. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Keep breathing. 9, 10. And stretching straight up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. Fantastic. So we're going to swap between doing exercises for the legs, which might feel quite strong on the hip flexors, to doing exercises moving the upper body, which makes you still use those abdominal muscles. Okay, so we're going to go back to the legs briefly here. We're going to bring the right leg up, draw in the tummy, stabilize yourself, knowing that leg is going to be heavier to lift up. Lift up the left, right down, left down. So really bringing in a lot of the other muscles as well now, drawing the ribs down, making a connection between the ribs and the pelvis at the front. Squishing and squeezing here whilst maintaining the arch in the lower back. So right up, draw in, be prepared, pick up the left, right down, left down, and keep going. 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8. 3 more. Keep that breathing going, trying to breathe into the lower outer lungs. Brilliant. Take a breath. Out, sink those ribs, find that arch in the back. We're going to lift up the left first. So left up, right down, really drawing in that lower tummy. One of the positive things about having this boot on is it does intensify the workout. 4. Keep the breathing relaxed. That chin tucked. 8, 9, 10. 2 more. 12. Brilliant, give those legs a shake. Now, shoulder bridges can be pretty good for opening out and stretching out everything around that pelvis. It's going to be feeling a little bit tight and uneven. So feet on the floor, heels as close to your bum as you can with this boot. It's not going to be that easy, but pretty much it gets you in a good position. Stretch your fingertips down towards your toes, tucking under, curling up, pushing your hips away, bottom under, tummy in, tuck under and curl back down. Again, let me remind you, if you're not supposed to be weight bearing on this leg, this is slight weight bearing, so check with the professional that's looking after you and guiding your rehab. Tucking under, curling up, pushing your knees away, don't go up too high, curl back down. Make sure each one of your glutes is contracting just as much as the other, so have your fingers here, tucking under, curling up. Okay, so squeeze both as much as each other. Good, and curl back down again. Making sure you're trying at least to tuck under and curl up one vertebra at a time. Good. When we're up there, let go of one bum cheek and squeeze. Let go of the other and squeeze. This is just going to help you to really address keeping both glutes working. While you're in this boot, that one's going to go to sleep a little bit. Or the other one, just depending, because it's hard work walking with that boot on. Good. Four more. Brilliant. Curl back down again. You might want to bring your knees into your chest just to stretch that off a little bit. And take a nice breath in. Breathe in as much as you can. Both legs down. Slight different one now. Tucking under, curling up. Taking one knee out to the side. It's quite good to have your hands on your hips here a little bit. Out and in. Other leg. Out and in. Brilliant. 5. Think about squeezing your bum as you take the leg out to the side. You can feel with your thumbs what your glute meads are doing. 4 more. We do higher numbers of all of these exercises if you want, or you can run through this whole thing twice. Brilliant. Curl back down again. Good stuff, or less, of course. Just take your time with this. You've had an injury, you need to build your body up nicely. Okay, so we've just done a few glutes, so let's come over to do a little bit of arms. So coming over onto your hands and knees. Good. So you cross over if you want at the back, or just keep your feet pinned together. It's quite nice. 3 lots of press ups. You can be box press up there. Good. Keeping your head in line, hands as wide as the mat. If you prefer yoga, you can bring your elbows alongside your body. That's something I've never really got on with, I have to say. But you can be at any various stage from box to that sort of half press up. So I'm going to go for the half press up here. You can have your bottom a little bit up if you want. Just takes a little bit more weight off your hands. So we're going to do 3 times 10. If you're capable of doing more, please do. Bottom under, tummy in, shoulders down away from your ears, chin tucked. And off we go. 3. As far down as you can, so pick your press up so you can get all the way to the floor. Brilliant. So in between, I'm going to sneak some shoulder stability in, so both legs on the floor, chin tucked but head hovered. Shoulders up, hands up, pulse the hands up and down, tuck your bottom under. Good. Feet firmly on the floor as well. Palms down. Palms in, circle out. Stretch your fingers down towards your toes. And circle in. So this is going to intensify what those press-ups feel like. So if we initially started and you thought, I can do a load of full press-ups, fair enough. But we're working on a bit of endurance of those shoulder blade muscles here. So hands as wide as the mat. Another set of 10. Or if you want to build it, if you want to do 15, 20, it's up to you. If you can't do 10, do less. Bottom under, tummy in. Off we go. Eight, 9, 10. Fab. Okay. On your front again, chin tucked, elbows to the side. Forehead on the mat if you want to. And we're just lifting and lowering, bottom under, tummy in. Good. 3, 4. You can do 20 of these. 9, 10. Stability muscles rather than power muscles need higher numbers. 9, 10, amazing, coming up. Okay, so we've got another set of 10. Hands as wide as your mat, if not a little bit wider. Feet pinned together. Knees, I want you to check that they're level. Because all of these, with the boot on, you can really feel sometimes that things are so uneven, so there's an opportunity to keep them level. Bottom under, tummy in, and off we go. 1. 7. Brilliant. On your front, last one of these exercises. Now this is fantastic if you're on the grass, if you've got the opportunity to be outside like I have, but if not, don't worry about it. You might want to have your hands hovered a bit, so stroking the grass forwards and back. Chin tucked, lengthen back of the neck, bottom under, tummy in. 3, 4. Think just as much as pulling the elbows down as you do about stretching up. Hope there's no bees. Another 10. Seven, 8, 9, 10. Fantastic. Right, turning onto our sides. Glutes are going to be so important to keep strong while this foot is as it is. So, hair in my mouth. On the elbow, pull up out of it, don't sink down into it. Tuck the bottom hip back, bottom under tummy in, scooping under, scooping in here, top hip rocked forwards, then lifting that top knee. Good. Take a breath, hard those arm ones. Don't worry how high this knee is lifting, but glute med stabilizes your pelvis, and that's definitely what we need right now. If your pelvis wasn't stable before this injury, this is an opportunity to really get that working. Get these glute med muscles working. Gluteus medius. Here. So you want to be feeling it here, not on the inner thigh, not down into the leg. Say that whether there's an ankle injury there or not. It's all right to feel the underside hip though. So keep up out of that shoulder. Good. Feet up. Good. Core. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Keep breathing. We're aiming for 20 with the feet down and 20 with the feet up. If you can't do those numbers, build up to it. Really important that you are able to do those kind of numbers, 20 feet down and 20 feet up. Good. Bottom leg down, top leg forwards and backwards. Good. Drawing in your tummy. 5, 6, 7. Stretch that leg out and pulse up and down. Wow, that's going to feel heavy. But we need this glute to work strongly, to stabilize, help with the recovery of this injury. Can we rotate up and down? Oh my God. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And 5 really big ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Amazing. Have a drink if you've got one. We're going to turn onto the other side. Good. Okay, take your time, moving around. Feet together, up on the elbow, tuck the bottom hip back, come up out of the shoulder, scooping in through your tummy, drop the shoulders down, make sure that top hip's rocking forwards, bottom hip's back. Good. And then you lift in that top knee. This leg needs looking after as well, of course. Some of you are going to be feeling symptoms and tightness and stuff through this leg too. It's because it's having to work extra hard. I can't work out whether my calf has shrunk significantly on the left or whether I'm having to use my right so much more. It's probably a bit of both. Which is why after 4 days I can see the difference between the calves. Okay, so that's 20 on that side, lifting both up. That's difficult on that bottom leg. I get that. Draw in your tummy. 4, 5, using other muscles, other hip rotators. Adductor a little bit to pick up that foot. Lovely. Bottom leg down, top leg forwards and backwards. Keep the foot and ankle strong on that side. It's a good exercise to keep that ankle strong. It could have been dropping. This could have been why you injured that ankle in the first place. 6, 7. Good. Stretch that leg out and pulse up and down. Drawing in the tummy. Rotate up and down. Keep breathing. And then bigger for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fantastic. Now we're going to stretch that one off in a little bit. I just want to make sure that we've done enough abs here, because I know a few of you will have tuned in to get a decent abs workout. So we're just going to have a little bit of a blast of that. So a few of our dead bugs, getting up to tabletop just as we did before. Right leg prep before you lift up the left. Draw those ribs down, squeeze in. Arms up, stretch out. Oh, right leg, left arm. And come back in, left leg, right arm. Pull the toes up so the legs are equal. 3. Draw in that tummy. 4. 8, 9, 10. 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's 20. Stay up. I know you guys want to work hard. We're going to do some of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Keep drawing in. I'm going to do 40. This is 7, 8, 9. That's 30. Fantastic. Bring your knees in. Okay, so just a little bit of stretching to finish off. Hands and knees. Good. Lift and drop. Breathe in as you lift. Breathe out as you drop. 2 more. Brilliant. Stepping up. Boot side first. Bottom under. Lean a little bit forwards into it. You're going to find this hip flexor on that leg's pretty tight, maybe on both legs. Good. From that walking, drawing under, lunging forwards. Don't lose it and lunge into it. Keep that tuck and just lunge a little bit. Good. Stick that forwards and hamstring. I think this is where I'm struggling the most with the hamstring at the back. You can bounce that knee a little bit, which brings it into a bit more of a nerve stretch. Brilliant. Bring that one back. Step the other one forwards. Tucking the bottom under, lunging forwards, slightly into it. Remember, don't lose it. Tuck under. Try and keep the hips level, shoulders dropped. Good. Stretching that hip flexor. Like I say, not surprised if that's a little bit tight. Good. Sitting back, stretching that heel forwards. You can sit down a little bit onto the boot if you want to. Keep it the same as the other side. Good. Bouncing that knee slightly. You might be able to see a little bit better on this side what I'm doing. Like I say, that makes it a little bit more of a nerve stretch. Good. Now, just because you can't stretch your injured calf too significantly doesn't mean that we can't stretch the one that isn't injured. So if we stretch up, but straight down into that heel. So it's nice to stretch through the back of that leg. In fact, it doesn't work so well on the other one, unfortunately. Good, stretching down into that heel. Again, ask your professional. This could be a time where you can take the boot off and be stretching the calf. So maybe it's an opportunity. Good, coming down onto the floor again. Just put this back. Stretching and arching the back. Not always comfortable for all of you, so you might want to come down onto the elbows to stretch that. Let's see what you think. Good. Bending that right quad. Keeping your bottom tucked under, pushing your knee away, keeping your knees fairly close together. Good. Other side. Easier than you think. Depending on what your boot's shaped like, actually, this one isn't too bad. Maybe a bit harder in a cast, I would imagine. Depends how high up the cast goes as well. See what you think. Might not be the easiest way to do it. Lovely. Bring that foot down. Good. Hands and knees again. Good. Getting up's not quite so easy as normal Pilates without the boot on, so what I suggest you do is bring that good leg forwards, push down and come back up again. So well done, guys. You've got through that Pilates workout. Hopefully that's aligned things a little bit more, stretched out a few things, got a few things activated. Just because you have that injury doesn't mean you can't do this regularly. Get that core switched on, keep the glutes going, and then when this boot comes off, you'll be stronger, more stable, more activated through those core muscles than maybe ever before. So I hope you enjoyed this workout. Remember to check out the other workouts on my channel with the boot on. You may also be able to do some of the standard Pilates exercises and apply some of these principles that I've taught you today to those standard Pilates workouts. And good luck with your recovery. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. It'll have lots of recovery options for after when you come out of the boot. Make sure you like this video if you did, and share it with your friends.